Yeah, you can take one of those on.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? This is H&D Abroad, coming live from our little home here.
So thank you for waiting for me today because I decided I was going to go and get my flowers for my yard and lost track of time. But I was like, I will ask for forgiveness and I will share the picture of my beautiful yard once we get all of the summer stuff planted. We wanted to come live today to kind of talk about mid-year, give you guys a mid-year update. So we are halfway through 2024. The year has had some twists and turns. So if you are new to our channel, we are preparing for our 2025 move abroad and doing all the things and sharing all of the decisions, considerations, our personal progress, talking to people who have made the move. If that is something that is interesting to you, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, share the content, because what we're finding is there are people who may have a desire to move abroad, but just like how do you put it all together? We are sharing what we do here. We can help you walk through your plan. In the description box are the links to how to do some one-on-one sessions with us and how to get on our newsletter so that when we release our next masterclass or training session or group work opportunity, you'll be informed and ready to take action. So I want to say thank you to
Say hey to Tanya.
Tanya Brooks. Hey.
Jace, good to see you.
Hey, Jace. Jace knows I'm calling her right after we're done with the live today.
We see Living Loving Abroad there.
Oh, yeah, we have an update about them too. Yes. So
if anybody's here today and you're not yet, Dr. Linda.
Dr. Linda.
So as always, we say, if you're in the chat, don't hide. Let us know you're here so we can acknowledge you and be a part of the conversation. Even in this information we're providing to you today, this is a conversation. We'd like to build on our conversations with you.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
No. I wasn't sure I don't want to forget to tell you all tomorrow, Living and Loving Abroad says that we are forgiven. Thank you. We are forgiven, but they will be posting a group activity that we did on their channel. They'll be posting it tomorrow. I don't think I've had that much fun. We laughed so hard.
Please participate in that video.
Please make sure. We're going to post the details. Stephen, if you can send us the link where folks can find that particular episode, or we could just drop your information in the in our community post for tomorrow. But y'all, I just want you to know I was not prepared to have my black card questioned.
I was. In an unprepared kind of way.
But look, you got to if you know what you know, you know what you know. So that was a lot of fun. I really look forward to we really look forward to doing more collaborations like that. So if you have a channel and want to send us a pitch, probably the best way to reach out to us is on Instagram. In the message. That's how a lot of people, Poetry reached out after my live on Thursday. And I sent her some information. If you're considering collaborating with us, send us a pitch email. We'd love to do that.
All right. So why are we standing in our kitchen? No, it is not to show off our house.
No.
What we are, one of the things that we are working on is getting our prep in order. If you include our lives on Saturday, we work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And so we're always trying to catch up, and we have been having to deal with the realities that some of our health, some of the things that we thought we had control health-wise are rolling back in on us. So we're having to be a little more
intentional,
a
lot more intentional
about what we're doing. So today we will be talking with you while we do some prep for ourselves.
Yeah.
So no, our food won't be on the camera unless he wants to show you these great beans. As you can see, the famous crock pots that I talk about.
Look, I live by crock pots. Dr. Linda, if you're not using your crock pot for your family, which, hey,
send it over here to me.
Yeah. If you have a family, you know, if you, not just that, what I'm finding out is even for the two of us, there are a lot of folks that it's you by yourself or you and a partner, you know, you and a child, and you're like, a crock pot is too big. Baby, my freezer game is deep.
And so is the freezer.
And so is the freezer. So one of the first things Herman bought when we moved into our first house was a freezer, and that's because he knew that I enjoy making and freezing collard greens, all kinds of beans. So I'm going to be sorting black beans and red kidney beans while we're live today. I buy them in bulk.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent.
So what are you working on?
I'm working on just some vegetable prep, and I also got an order for some banana bread. So I'm prepping the stuff towards the banana bread. So we'll just be making a little tinkering noise, but we'll be standing here and we'll talk about some of the things that have occurred, some of our successes, and some of our continued challenges, as well as some things that we're working on in our collective and individual projects. So
probably want to start with,
and hey to Jay Stokes, good to see you, Jay.
Hey, so if you want to take this time and do bring your one box that you are decluttering. Dr. Linda knows in our We Out group, we were talking about, you know, just having an accountability time or accountability partner for doing a project you've been putting off. If you've been trying to clean out that, you know, that, what's the drawer in the kitchen that everything is in?
The clutter drawer.
Yeah, the clutter drawer. If you've got a clutter drawer and know I need to clean that out, hey, why don't you pull up a chair, pull up and do that while you're watching us live. But let's see. So updates starting with Super Bowl Sunday. The NALCAP, which is the North American Language and Cultural Exchange Program.
You go.
Yeah, I think that's what it stands for, NALCAP. That application finally opened, so you can be let's see, hold on, back up. It is a program that you don't have to be a teacher, like you don't have to be credentialed as a teacher, but you will be providing your in-class English skills as a teaching assistant. So you do have to, if you have young people that are past their freshman year, so they don't even have to have completed college, all the way up until age, you have to be less than 60 before that program year ends. You're able to apply. So we did, because we keep all options on the table, right?
Every last one.
Okay.
Every last one.
So look, I applied knowing we probably had a 50-50 chance of being ready to go. And so I was like, let's take it. I mean, What's the harm? So we got our reference letters. We did our letter of, request or application. There are a couple of other things that you need to do to be able to press send. All you need to do is download the guide. The guide tells you everything to do. I've been watching the process for a year, so I knew how to complete the application. And then I found some places on the internet, like there are auxiliar groups for various regions of Spain, for NowCap and some of the other programs that do these summer or school year teaching assistant programs. I think Nikki and David, when they first came on, that was going to be our strategy for moving abroad. And so they were looking at a couple of different programs. Y'all, if you need money, hey, why don't you get a towel and cut on that? That way it's not knocking into the thing.
I can do that. Is it one? I'll find it.
Okay. So yeah, if you are looking for money and like don't have a way to fund and you're less than 60, but have completed at least your first year of college, I think it's an excellent option. And so what's happened is we applied, we saw that all of our information, because I'm going to dig and do the research and make sure nobody got to come back and tell me that I've forgotten to put something in there. So we submitted Super Bowl Sunday. We saw in April that everything had closed and now they were in the review process. And so by mid-May, we started seeing people say, I'm getting notified that I've been selected. So I believe this year there were over 9,000 people that applied. People that applied the day before, the day of the deadline. What they say is, if you apply, go ahead and move forward like you're going to be accepted. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is everybody's going to apply. I'm saying cut on the napkin so that, you only had a few. Okay.
That's not a good cooking knife.
So, because there's the final group that has applied, their application goes through, they get accepted, they hit yes. Then there are those that apply, don't get, that miss updating, and so their applications are thrown out. They're the people that apply, get accepted, and then, like us, decide once we get the notification that we have been selected, we can't do it. It doesn't fit with our timeline. They know life happens. It doesn't. I'm mentioning this because some people think, well, I won't be able to go back the next year and apply, like that takes away a year. What takes away a year with the NowCap program is that if you say, yes, I'm coming, and then you come back later and say, no, I can't come, then your years of eligibility are reduced by 1 year. So there was a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and they only give you 3 days, calendar days to decide. Mm-hmm. And we talk a lot. We talk a lot about our current life situations. What are we trying to accomplish? What is our move forward? What needs to be done in that process? We were, I think, just fair to say, excited that we were
accepted.
Yeah, we were both accepted.
What we looked at was, could one of us go and the other one of us stay? Because we still had things that needed to be done. And what we ultimately decided was either both of us were going or both of us were staying. And so that just kind of answered that question. But I know now everything that needs to be done. I know to trust the guide. I know the places. Reddit has an auxiliary subthread. People are mentioning areas that they're moving to. So I'm able to ask questions. There's a guy, let's see. So we got accepted to Valencia, the Valencian region. And so that was the area you select three regions. And so Valencia was our top pick. And then the second region was Aragon. Yes, Aragon. And so we knew there's a good chance most people, because our application was what, like 12? It was like 1,200. We were in the 1,200. So as you can tell, 9,000, 1,200. We were in that first group of people that applied. And so we knew there was a good chance once they had made the selections for the second years, then they come to those that are initially applying, and then they fill the slots.
So even if we apply again, the beauty is that we know now what to do. Yep. So when the application drops, we drop our information, we move forward. If it is at that time an option,
the best play,
the best play for us. I like that. Yep. So that was a truly learning experience, because not only did we have to really look at what kind of options are available for us, we had to really do the research on the area and what was available.
I love pulling out my world map, my country map, and really looking at the elevation, which is going to tell me about the temperature. The same research we do for, our move abroad process. We really took a deep dive into where would we like to be in Spain, whether we are there for NowCap, spending the 3 months that we can on a tourist visa in the Schengen zone. If you know Europe, now they have curtailed our time there by creating the Schengen zone, which is a large number of countries that are in Western Europe. And so, but I love Spain because it's close to North Africa. We want to go back to Morocco and do Morocco right. So Dr. Linda has had a retreat in Morocco. She's from Morocco, or she was born in Morocco. So what I say, they got the good, when you can take a ferry from southern Spain to across the Strait of Gibraltar to northern Morocco, like that's the kind of life I want. That's the kind of life I'm centering. So we spent a little bit of time talking about NowCap in the hopes that you can share it, with a family member that you could, if you are looking for an affordable way, because you earn euros and you work for 14 to 16 hours a week. So either if you're working about 14 hours a week in any of the regions in Spain, you're earning about 800 euros. If you're in Madrid or the Valencian region, then you are earning roughly about 1,000 euros. So it depends on your school and which ministry you're associated with about the cost. But you're also looking at in a Puebla, which we actually want to move to a smaller city.
Correct.
A 2-bedroom could be somewhere between $300 and $400, or 300 or 400 euros a month. So I started looking at Idealista, and being able to see, okay, how much more would we need to add to our budget? I'd start with those three.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. I would definitely start with looking at, the dollars and cents, just like we've talked about Numbia, as a, uh-oh.
You got something beeping. You want to check?
Yeah.
While she's doing that.
Yeah. Just like you would check Numbia for your other, the real numbers for your move abroad. We were implementing those same things for a 2024 move to Spain that didn't happen, but we're tracking. We're tracking it. Okay.
All right.
Let me check that.
Yep. So one of the next things we could talk about on our list is some of our upcoming travel. Let's see, where do we start? We have some house sitting opportunities coming up next month. Dee will be gone for a month towards the West Coast. And then in August, right, she'll be home for about a week. And then in August, potentially both of us, maybe just her for a month, we'll be gone through October for a house sit, if depending on how we work things out with here.
Yeah. So house sitting is on deck.
Yeah.
If you don't know what house sitting is, and I think a lot of us do, hey, Aileen Brown. House sitting is, getting free accommodation by doing something to help maintain the home and or the pet or pets that a homeowner has. So I've done one pet sit for a sister that is in the Exodus Summit group, but I think my real groove is plant sit. So you can see, plant mama. I got behind the crock pots, or I can't stop propagating. Spring is for propagating. And I'm given the plant we call this pathos, this group of pathos Dolores, which is Herman's mom. I bought that plant with her in memory, and we're sharing our plants in memory of mommy. So, but I got to start letting my plants go. Not happy about that. Not happy at all. So the travel, the house sitting is actually soothing my heart as I let go, as I release, as I share my plants with other people. Now I can do house sits where that's all I'm doing. I'm taking care of plants in the yard. They've got potted plants inside. And all I do is water plants and then go to museums. I water plants a couple of times a week, and I go to the Kennedy Center. I'm just saying, house sitting is fitting into giving me access to places and experiences.
It, again, really been a growing experience for me, because being in somebody else's house, I was like, I'm not sure that makes sense to me, but the opportunity. But we've been blessed to have repeat request hosts who say,
and the hosts like him. I won't say more than me, but they really like him. So I'm just saying, hey, I signed up for Trusted House Sitters. You can sign up for Trusted House Sitters in the description of this video. Oh. We always share our 25% off discount code. Summer is the best time. I mean, even outside of the other holidays, which when you think about when are people going to need to have someone sit, a lot, they're going to be more in their database during the holidays and during the summer. That's when most people are traveling. And when you think about it, the summer from the equator north, so from where Stephen and LaShawn are in Ecuador north, you get a different set of summer. And then from the equator down, you get a different calendar for summer. So you can do house sitting. And that's another strategy that we've talked about, is maybe we house sit for half the year. And then we move to some places that we pay, you know, for what do you call that? You know, Airbnb or a hostel. I'm going to get him to stay in a hostel for at least one night.
Here's my issue with hostels. I am a light sleeper. Other people's needs to move around do not jive with when I need to sleep. Two, I don't like little spaces with people that I don't know. I'm willing to learn, because there are, you know, some that are more, you know, accommodation general and all that.
And there's some private rooms you can rent through hostels. So we're gonna probably try it in Europe.
But you know, they say the benefit of hostel is being in the spaces with people you can interact with.
Stephanie Perry says that.
I don't want to be in a space with people I interact with. My stuff is vulnerable.
So they have lockers and things that you can put a lock. A lot of people share that. So, I mean, I think house sitting is going to be able to help us to leverage our money, especially that first year that we're out the door. If we have money concerns where we're like, we need a little bit more time to get our business up. Let's see, I think Dr. Linda just did her 1 week challenge where you can learn 3 new ways to create things like digital products that you can sell. So if you're looking for business support, somebody to help you to work through a business idea, I'm just saying, get on Dr. Linda's channel. She is sharing that. I think the next one she told me is going to be in July. So around this time in July. So make sure you are subscribed to her channel so you can see what that is. If you want to learn options trading, y'all know we've had Sandra from Lack to Legacy on our channel. So maybe you can do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and reduce, you know, live on a budget. There's some ways to kind of create some air if you don't have a budget that gives you money, drops money into your account, like a pension, like Social Security. I'm just saying.
It can be done.
It can be done. We're gonna work it. We're gonna work it. So yeah, that's travel, house sitting, some surprise travel, maybe. I don't know. But we're taking y'all with us. We'll always take you with us. So talking about being in a training this week, Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow ran their Get Your Next 3 Clients. So you all have known that we have shared that we wanted to do a masterclass for convincing your spouse to move abroad, to work with couples. And I was like, we just don't have a lot of people raising their hands for doing that. What can I do? I just learned a bunch of stuff with a community of other Black women who are wanting to start or create sustainable income by doing better, being in places that allow them to give their tools, the tools and the knowledge that they have, just like you would on a job. Like I've got a skill set. Will that skill set help you achieve your goals? Great. Come work with us. Come work with us. So there'll be more opportunities to come work with us. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, we're always saying thank you. There was a super chat that came through
Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Was it that one? Or was it Thursday? Your Wednesday, Juneteenth?
No.
Okay. But we always say we appreciate the super chats and the thank yous, the buy us a tea, because I don't drink coffee. We don't drink coffee. But yeah, so we want to give you quality information, quality experiences where we're bringing on our guests.
We had some great discussions this week. So
yes,
brag a little bit.
Yes.
On Monday, I had Kevin Giles from Melanin Man Travels. That was a great conversation talking about men and the difference between alone and loneliness. I ask you to view that video and share that video with.
There were a lot of good comments. I mean, during the live.
That was a really great conversation. On Wednesday was Juneteenth. We celebrated Freedom Day.
Yes.
And we had the opportunity to make a little watermelon salsa. Ooh. So that was my first cooking demo live. People have been asking me to do a demo. We did a simple demo live. So watch that one. And then last night.
Yeah, Thursday night, I went live. Thursday night, I went live talking about medical care and peep my game on my new channel. So I've had a channel for about a year. Big Sis Doula. I've been a birth and postpartum doula, childbirth educator locally for 10 years. When the pandemic hit, we had to transition. If you know, doulas provide non-clinical support during pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. And we couldn't be in the same place. So a lot of my business started transitioning to virtual. And then I was just like, well, why don't we look at how we could marry the two concepts of being abroad, either as, on a tourist visa or moving abroad, and the idea of birthing outside your home country. So I talked a little bit about that and then went live on Big Sis Doula this Friday. So I was excited to share the opportunity that we've created doing a 360 birth plan. Because you've got a little bit more you got to navigate when you're having a baby outside the U.S. And you want them to be a U.S. citizen, but people are picking up. Like a lot of folk in my circle didn't realize that you birth outside the U.S., you're picking up a passport, not only for the baby, but a lot of these countries are also granting family unity. Because a baby can't be a citizen without having some parents that have some permanent residency. So because I understand and I know that process for Mexico, we're going to start with Mexico. But it is a community for anyone that's birthing outside the U.S. that wants to have a central place to source information, ask questions about how to locate a doctor, a midwife, doing a home birth or out of hospital birth. And just like, yes, mama communities love poop conversations. We want to talk about the aches and pains. Look, we just need our own safe space. And so we're creating that to be able to do that for people who are choosing to birth outside the U.S. because you need community. Just like in this community, you guys are going to be why we stay sane when we're making these transitions. Because, y'all are literally part of who we consider when we wake up on Saturday morning, we're saying, what are we going to give to the people? Okay. What are we going to share with the people? How are we going to encourage the people? How are we going to bring a quality how are we bringing quality content to them? Y'all are a part of our consideration, and I want to say thank you to the suggestions, the feedback that y'all leave in the comments. If you are joining in the future, welcome from the future. #replay. Any comments, we come back and answer. So and y'all are our accountability.
I am proud of you. I am proud of you. I want to fit that in. She's doing it today. She's telling you all the biz. But I need you to know that I'm proud of you as your partner. I'm excited to see what you do next with this project. Y'all don't leave me just because she's going over there to do something else separately. Y'all don't leave me here by myself. And
we'll always be on together. We've got a lot of new couples couples that maybe not, we haven't had on our channel. We've been on their channel a couple of
We
times.
are exploring some new people, some new topics and subjects. Some and if some of you all who have pages, and she knows who we're talking about, you can convince your husbands to participate.
Always appreciate it. Always appreciate it.
Just tell them, hey, you can sit sideways in the chair. We want to be able to have more couple conversations in this move abroad space, especially as Black couples. We in the past have discussed our decluttering.
Oh yeah, that you all are keeping us accountable to that, because we've been together. We've been in the same house for almost 25 years. So it's a lot of stuff. We got a lot of, we have moved several times.
And to our credit, it's a third of what it was. It's a third of what it was.
It's more than half of what it was. When you think about what we left in that house.
It's a third of what it was. And with that in mind, a lot of the last things are a lot of the emotional things.
Yeah.
Now there are some things that we approach differently.
You hear him trying to be delicate.
No, that's just because I think sometimes husbands go,
you ain't touched that, you ain't worn that in a year, 2 years.
And wives do it too. Let me try to put that off on her. And so then there's that, what is our purpose? And we're all guilty of it. You can have this one.
Nope.
And we had a Suburban sit in the yard because I swore I was gonna get that thing fixed. I'm gonna tell you how long it sat there.
My father bought the Suburban. Yeah. That was just
okay. So
ridiculous. Let it go.
Moving past that is important. So we had one transitional piece out of the house, and I'll let you talk about that.
Well, I promised in our We Out 2024. I'm just scared that my beans are going to fall through since these are smaller.
Okay.
So the We Out 2024 group, I asked them to keep me accountable so that by the end of the month that I was going to do two things. I was going to release my piano, and I started taking piano lessons at age 3. And so I've always had a piano in the house, but even if the kids were here, even if we Airbnb'd it, I didn't want to have the piano in the house. And so I was playing it less because, over the years I've worked a little bit more, or I play it during the holidays. So I decided to let someone else have it for free. Okay. You all know that was a big step. I let someone have it for free. So we've had two pianos. We had a piano at our other house, and then when we built this house, we brought the piano that we had been using, that my son asked for. Since he continued to play. And I just put it in our neighborhood Facebook group. It wasn't out there an hour. And somebody was like, I'm coming. When my husband and I are going to come, he's got a trailer. I can come get it. It was easier than I thought because we struggled to get rid of the piano at our other house. Struggled. I mean, because what do you call that? The thrift stores don't take it. I couldn't get a church to accept it. I couldn't get a school to accept it. Really? Nobody wants a free upright piano. It wasn't a baby grand or anything like that. But yeah, it was just hard. And so a neighbor 2 streets over, she said, I can come get it. Within 48 hours, I now have a bare wall where my piano was. One of the things that we started talking about in our group was there is the process of releasing your things. I don't want to say getting rid of. That can go to a useful home. If it is of quality, something that you would go out and buy and use in your home, that is when I think I would be gifting something to a Goodwill, or several of the churches have thrift stores.
Mm-hmm.
What I had to get away from, that several of our sisters that have moved abroad, I had to get out of my head that I was going to be able to to sell, that people wanted to come and buy my things. Yes, I spent a lot of money on them. Yes, they have great meaning to me. They have served me well. They are in good condition, but everybody don't want your taxiderm fish. We don't have one, but I'm just giving an example of everybody doesn't, it has great value to you. We spent a lot of money on our children's library, their books. And I've just been dragging my feet, not because it's a lot of money, but I don't think that people really value reading anymore. And so I've been cautious because it was an investment. These books have my children's little fingerprints. I mean, not dirty fingerprints, but like they touch these. I taught them to read. We taught them to read from a lot of their books.
Sat in their beds at night with them and sat on the couch with them. And it's how we started one of our businesses, our past businesses. Children's classroom reading.
Storytelling.
And some of them are books that we didn't know existed till we were searching for types of books. So they are cultural books, cultural stories, things with history towards people of color, not just Black people, but people of color.
Yeah.
We wanted that to be diverse in that learning. So there's a lot of history in those, and it's not the lack of desire to want to share them with someone else. It's how it is.
Please value.
You want to believe that somebody values something that you give them. We had the conversation last week with Bobby and Cedric of Aging Grateful. We were talking about a house, and they tell you it's no longer yours. Walk away. And
that's what you got to do.
And it's just working that process, that progress into your head that, okay, this is what we're doing, but we're moving forward and we're letting this go.
Our tips on decluttering, as we probably close this part out, start now. If you're moving in 2 years, start now. If you're moving in 5 years, start now. You cannot start too early. You cannot. If you need to have an organized plan, say, I'm going to clean this closet out this month, or I have 2 months to get rid of, move it along. I've got some vintage women's coats. Y'all remember the kind that your grandmothers used to wear? They were wool with the beautiful fur collar and the big buttons. My grandmother and great grandmother had so many pictures, and then my sister and I and my mom started collecting them and would wear them to church with our gloves. I mean, it was a whole thing. I'm not going somewhere where I'm going to be taking that kind of coat. It's got to be practical. I got to be able to put it in a suitcase, because if that suitcase is over 50 or 55 pounds, I pay per pound. Oh, no, there are things I'm going to have to release. I'm looking, we still have a Wii gaming console, like the original one. I'm using it, and then it's going on eBay. I mean, the more things I can get rid of now. I love puzzles. I can't take all those puzzles with me. So I want to be able to have enough of the house gone. And this is something that Stephanie Perry talked about on her channel, was if you think I'm moving in 5 years, and you don't start the process of making your life look like you are going somewhere, like on a path, what if an opportunity comes along? And you all have heard us talk with Nikki and David of It's a Wonderful Travel Life.
Wonderful Travel Life. Mm-hmm.
She was just on the internet. We were talking about Mexico, and she's a teacher, and she just was looking around, found a school that was looking for a teacher. She wasn't even trying, like, she was just looking around. She was like, you know what? Let's look and see what the process is like.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get back with you if I send something only in English? She sent that on Sunday. She had an interview on Tuesday. They made her an offer on Thursday. Like, you need to be ready. That's all I'm saying is if you're not getting ready, get ready sooner than you think you need, because you may have the opportunity. You know, if debt is holding you back, which, you know, that's something we work through in our We Out community. If debt is your thing, then look, get an accountability partner. But no, yes, you know, you can get some rivers of income, some streams of income. But if $50,000 fell in your lap, paid off your debt, and there was enough to get you started out the door, like, don't burn all your money up staying in the States. Don't, I mean, if you live in a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house and all of your rooms are filled, and you know, I'm either going to sell my house or I'm going to have someone rent it out. Rooms that are empty need to stay empty, get more empty.
And we have a great example of that, even though it wasn't out of the country. When we moved to this city, it literally was, I drove Dee here an hour and a half from where we were staying.
The day after 4th of July.
The day after 4th of July, I drove her up here. The boys were with us. Our daughter was visiting with my parents in Florida. And we drove up here. She had an interview. The next day, they called her next to fly.
To our corporate office. Yep.
And she said, I can't fly tomorrow. I can fly the day after. And she literally flew up there, had a meeting, got back on the plane, flew back home. And
they made me an offer.
The next week?
Yeah, they made me an offer by Monday or Tuesday of the next week. So
when our daughter came home, we were packing to leave. She was trying to, she didn't understand why her room was packed up when she came home. And we literally left 2/3 of our things in that house.
Yeah. And
moved here because we moved into an apartment from a 2-story house to a townhouse.
Yeah.
Here. And it was a year and a half.
What? Oh, till we sold the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, till we sold it. Yeah, we moved most of the stuff, but
it took us another 6-8 months to get everything out of the house.
Yeah.
And then we had to get the house sold. So I mean, it happened like that. And so we really tried to use that as an guidepost for, you know, even with the conversation we mentioned earlier about NowCap, do we have the resources to make that kind of move? You know, if it were Mexico, if it was Central or South America, we probably could have made different choices. But you know, the distance that it had. But what would have happened if some of the more of the things had been in place for us to have been able to make that move then? Yeah, we might have made a different decision. Yeah, so
that was a lot of money that went out the door. That if we had been ready to go
with that house,
we could have saved a lot of money. Probably the only other things we talked about Man Monday. You know, if you have feedback, if you watched Herman's,
if there's anybody you're interested in me potentially interviewing,
or
speaking to, you have anybody in your life who has anything going on as gentlemen who you think would be an inspiration to the men that we talk about as we try to encourage the men to keep moving forward, to be a continued obvious presence in our community, especially those who are considering moving abroad. Please let me know. Again, as Dee said, you can DM us on Instagram.
Mhm.
It's too many letters and too many words. Let's see.
And then I just, if you haven't watched Herman's Juneteenth, give him some feedback. You want to see more of him cooking? I really want him to start a channel. He's got such helpful information, and he's such a good teacher that I think that there's space in the world to talk about how cultural foods are healing. How, let's see, what was the video I sent you where the gentleman was talking about my gut microbes that keep me healthy mentally and physically are attuned to certain foods.
Mm-hmm.
So
it has been my personal belief for quite a while that a part of the reason that Black Americans have some of the health problems that we have is because we're one of the few, if not the only, cultural people who are not intimately tied to the food of our heritage. A lot of our food is derivatives of either foods that we brought here or foods that were leftovers as a part of enslavement. If you go to an East Indian's home, if you go to a Chinese person's home, if you go to a Caribbean person's home, if you go to an African person's home, they eat at their house what their families have been eating for throughout history. And a lot of ours is become processed and, covered. And I think that has to do with how our bodies are reacting. We get stereotyped about watermelons and chicken, but we brought watermelons and chickens and black-eyed peas with us from the continent. If we're not eating enough of them, and I talk to Black people all the time, I don't like black-eyed peas. I don't like root vegetables. If we aren't eating our history, then we are susceptible to high blood pressure and diabetes and cancers and all the other things. So trying to take an effort to do more presentations that present that concept for healthy eating being a part of history eating, heritage eating.
And learning about your history too. So,
absolutely.
Yep. Well, I think that's, yay. Yes. Absolutely. I keep telling Herman, there is an audience of Black men who are waiting, just like those who are in the chat right now. There's an audience of people who are waiting, who need the voice and the experiences that you have to be able to share. So please share them. Find a way to share them, whether it is, creating a space on the internet, blogging, vlogging. People are, I found hope in Exodus Summit. I found hope and breadcrumbs to my dream of living abroad by finding, finding a lot of the channels that we've been on. I've been really open about Lamar and Angela. Lamar and Angela's channel is Lamar and Angela, but they literally, we went to the Washington, D.C. consulate. I brought XXX documents. I organized them this way. I anticipated, questions and brought these extra documents. People are sharing things that are needed that might not be a big deal to you, but somebody, y'all saw me laughing on that video where I was like, the guy was talking about making the best peanut butter jelly or better peanut butter and jelly. And I was like, really, dude? Really? That was the first sandwich we taught our kids how to make it, 3?
I still think it was a joke. I think it was.
I really hope it was.
Yeah,
but the real joke was the lady that was taking the ice.
Yeah.
And she was crushing the ice and stirring the ice and putting the ice in the skillet.
because they were.
But how many views did they get? Millions of views.
I think what we have tried to share today, that is the underlying lesson of what we are learning, is just get to it.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and do it.
Life is going to life.
So I made a commitment. I openly, and I'll repeat it since it's already out there. I openly made a commitment to attempt to be a part of the process, to start some level of community building, community connection building for Black men. I'm not trying to recreate the Exodus Summit. Not my goal. Just finding a way for Black men to reach out to each other in a safe space where we can grow both in the communities in which we live and across the world. So we got a lot of things that we are dangling our toes in. Don't worry, Tanya, our toes are being stepped on by each other.
Yeah.
As well. So we won't get to yours for a minute, but as always, we appreciate every encouragement, every engagement that we have from you, that you are a part of our community. It's where we are right now, highs and lows, successes and frustrations. We continue to move forward, and we continue to be Herman and D.
Yes.
On H and D.
Yes. Let's get her done.
So we appreciate y'all coming through today. We're gonna finish up these little projects we got going on.
Thank you. I have sifted my whole bag.
Everything's ready for my bread. I just need to put it in the mixer. We're waiting for this blazing hot sun. So if you all are out and about, and if you are having the same kind of weather we're having here, please hydrate.
Yes.
Please stay cool. Please rest. Please get decent exercise. Hydrating is not just water. There are fruits that provide good water, watermelons, apples, as well as things like coconut milk, coconut water that provides electrolytes without as much sugar as things like, your energy drinks.
Get fluids from your
whatever you need to do, get fluids. So if Florida Aid is what you have available, push it back, but stay hydrated. But we are what is it, 60%, 70% body of water. So if you're not hydrating, if you're not drinking water, you know what's happening to you. Take care of yourselves, and we will also take care of each other.
Absolutely.
See y'all soon.
Bye, everybody. Yay.